A TikTok user was recording a goofy video with a doll. Their content is usually light and nothing to do with ghosts. But after uploading, viewers noticed a figure across the water. It looked like a small girl standing completely still. The creator said no one else was around and had made sure of it just before recording. When people zoomed in, the figure looked even stranger. The skin was very pale, the face had no clear details, and the arms seemed to stretch unnaturally. She still doesn't know what was standing in the water that day, but it left her terrified. This woman was exploring a remote area in the Appalachian region, when suddenly she got the feeling of being watched. Moments later, she accidentally captured this on camera.
I just realized this is like the perfect place to come and sit and smoke. Cause look at this. Sit right here. Hell yeah. This is my view. Y'all. A cigarette right now. I don't even smoke cigarettes. But it warm you up, you know? I'm fucking cold. Felt like there was somebody behind me, but so this is as close as I'm going to get, but y'all can see it's like angled and it goes into the mountain. It doesn't look like it, but it's a little bit more deeper here. My feet would get wet, and these shoes, yeah, no, and it's cold. But yeah, I'm about to head out of here because my feelings been I don't know. It don't feel right now. But yeah, I don't have service. No, this is the worst part about exploring here is when you get like that when you get the feeling that you're being watched or followed. You can't. It's a little bit of a ways to get back to where you came from. Over there.
She didn't hear the sound at the time, and its source remains unclear, as nobody was around her. As she continued walking, the uneasy feeling only grew stronger until she finally decided to leave the area. To this day, she has no idea who or what was out there with her that day. While spending a fun night outdoors with friends, this group decided to take time photos using a phone placed inside a mailbox. They stood across the street near a cornfield and took 2 photos back to back. Later, while reviewing the images, they noticed something unsettling. One photo appeared completely normal, but in the second, something could be seen behind one of them, something that hadn't been there just moments earlier. No one noticed anything at the time, and the photos were taken only seconds apart. To make it easier to see, the second image was likely edited using basic brightness and contrast adjustments. The group still isn't sure what was with them that night. Was it something paranormal, or simply an insect or object passing very close to the camera lens? They shared the images online, hoping someone could help explain what they captured. A man spent a night on a 2-acre lot by the Allegheny River to see if he should buy it. The land was steep with limited river access, and he wanted one last look before the deadline. He parked his truck and settled in for the night, but after dark, a noise came from the woods.
There's a really up noise coming from the woods right now. It sounds like a woman screaming. I was sitting in my front seat with the heated seat on, warming up. It's been dark for a long time now, and it sounds like a woman screaming bloody murder. Listen. Literally, I'm freaking out right now. I don't know what the hell that was, but that has me absolutely terrified. I'm not lying. Literally, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know what that was. It literally sounded... Hang on, let me get... I feel like I'm being watched right now. This isn't even funny. I was on the phone. Okay, let me get in here and I'm going to lock these doors. And okay, hang on a second. It sounded like somebody was screaming bloody murder. It sounded like a human. It sounded like a woman was being tortured or beaten. I was on the phone with Jessica and I kept hearing it, and I opened my door and it got more severe, like it was more blood curdling. And I literally told her, as I'm picking up the camera to start recording, I said, let me call you right back. And I opened the door and it was really loud and it sounded really close.
Later, he called the state police. Officers searched the area and a nearby cabin but found nothing. The experience was enough to convince him not to buy the land. A scout was patrolling a remote area at night when he heard strange, unfamiliar sounds. He moved closer, using his camera and flashlight to scan the surroundings. Suddenly, a white figure appeared among the bushes and trees. It moved through vegetation in a way that didn't match any known animal. The figure shifted positions, trying to stay hidden, before eventually disappearing from sight. Was it an animal, a person, or something else entirely?
For the past couple of weeks, hikers along the Appalachian Trail here in Virginia warned each other about another hiker who had threatened them. This latest encounter with that man turned deadly.
On May 10, 2019, 4 hikers were camping along the Appalachian Trail in Virginia's Jefferson and George Washington National Forest. One of the hikers was 43-year-old Ronald Stronghold Sanchez Jr., a U.S. Army veteran. Earlier that evening, the group met 30-year-old James L. Jordan, who was behaving erratically and had approached them on the trail while singing and playing a guitar. Jordan later threatened the campers and said he would burn their tents. After midnight, Jordan returned to their campsite and confronted them with a large knife. 2 hikers escaped and called emergency services, but Jordan caught up with Sanchez and fatally attacked him. He also attacked a woman from the group, but she survived by playing dead and eventually made it to safety. Jordan was arrested hours later near the scene. In 2021, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to a psychiatric facility for treatment. The event deeply affected the hiking community and the families involved. 2 girls decided to pull over in Sedona to lie on the ground and look at the stars. They snapped a few photos, took a fun video, and were just about ready to leave. But that's when they realized they weren't alone.
They were like waiting for us. Wait, they're gone. Oh wait. No, they're still there.
Way down
They're just looking back and forth.
Is that a person?
It's a person. I think we're scaring. No, that's not a person.
A person was standing in the distance, completely dressed in white. They mentioned there were no other cars in the lot. He wasn't wearing a headlamp, and he wasn't dressed like someone out for a nighttime hike. Terrified, the friends drove away fast, and to this day, they still have no idea who was out there with them that night. Morris, from the channel Morris's Paranormal Adventures UK, arrived at Holton Collier in the United Kingdom near an abandoned mining site linked to a disaster in the early 1900s. He planned to explore the area and set up camp, but soon after arriving, he heard something that made him realize he wasn't alone.
You better see the walk. So I put the bits in for you on the walk. And I am sweating. Sounds like there's people already here. Somebody is living here. I don't think this is a good idea, you know. Look at that. Right guys, it's things like this that get me a little bit worried now. Because it's not a really big area, you see. But I'm not too sure about that now. The thing is, right behind this woods is a big nut house, what they call a nut house, which has got loads of people who are, should I say, not well. And a lot of them seem to, over the years, have escaped. Now, I don't want to be stuck in here with somebody like that. That's crazy, that though. I don't feel safe here. I feel like there's people here watching me. I really don't know what to do, guys. I don't know whether the place that I was going to camp. As I was crossing the field, I was on my camera, I was on my phone as well. I heard two people, one started laughing and one started coughing. Now I sat in them woods, guys, for an hour in them bushes on my own, having a drink and eating some snacks and that. So whether they're drug addicts, whether they're alcoholics or hostile people, I don't really know what they are. This is a crazy place. I will be back though, guys. I'm going to come back tomorrow.
He decided to leave and return later that day. When he came back, he set up camp near the old mine shafts. Not long after, he began hearing footsteps around him.
Because this is, like I said, not safe. Don't know who's living up here, what they're doing up here. Wow, sure I saw some shadows then. As soon as it said that, I heard cracking in the bushes at the back. Can't believe how light it looks on this camera, guys. I can hear footsteps. I'll put the spirit talker on the floor here. Guys, I'm getting eaten by midges.
They found my body.
They found my body. They found my body. Was it here where they found your body? In this exact spot? Can you tell me your name? Is your name on the memorial down the road?
Then his spirit communication device started producing unsettling messages.
Stuart, can you come and stand on the shafts for me, mate? Maybe switch the lantern on and off. Would you do that?
Civil.
Civil? Yeah, I'm civil, mate. I'm not here for anything else. Just to find out why you're still here. I know you had a bad accident, but you've not been able to cross over, maybe? Seriously, these midges are getting to me, guys. Maybe I'll... What the fuck? Hello? Guys, I'm not trying to scare myself. It's scary enough as it is. You can probably understand that. But I did promise you I'd come back and get you some paranormal. But with them people as well, guys, I'm fucking terrified. Terrified. Guys, I think somebody just grabbed my camera. I can hear people behind me. Look, I'm not here to be scared or anything like that. I don't want you to scare me, right? Literally just want to find out why you're stuck here.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Pain.
Pain?
The longer he stayed and interacted with the device, the stronger the feeling became that something else was there with him.
So I'm going to leave now. And is there anything you'd like to say before I leave on the machine? Please do so. Jack, if you're here.
I'm feeling tired.
Feeling tired. This could be residual where they're getting weak, guys, from the accident. Right, I'm going to let you go then. Don't want to disturb you anymore. I'm going to pack my stuff up and go now. I appreciate you talking to me, I really do. Thank you so much. Hopefully one day we can talk again when you're not as tired. But for now, I'll let you go. So guys, it's still going. They're telling me to get out of here, and they like the dark and stuff. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here now. Because Spirit Talker was going crazy saying get out and stuff, so, and saying they was tired and things like that. I don't want to be disturbing any spirits if they don't want to chat, guys. I'm done now. I did my adventure, I explore.
In the end, he chose to leave, knowing how risky it was to remain alone in a place like that. Some teenagers were hanging out at a local park one night. Once they arrived, they noticed a strange figure moving through the park. It looked unnatural, so they decided to record it. They remembered that a man had been found mysteriously dead in the same park, with officials reporting no visible signs of foul play. Some nearby residents said they had noticed a strange presence in the park for some time. Many now believe the figure may be connected to the unexplained death. The group left, convinced that what they had seen wasn't a good sign. A homeowner's night footage captured two women rushing into a yard and hiding behind a wall. They kept glancing back, as if someone was following them. One slipped through a gap in the fence, while the other stayed low, watching the road. Then a motorcycle appeared, carrying two men who stopped near the gate. They seemed to be searching for someone. After a short wait, the men left. The women then came out and walked away. The scene was brief but unsettling, giving the impression they might have been in danger. Unfortunately, not much about the situation has become clear. These men were hiking through the Appalachian Mountains when they came across something deeply unsettling. A narrow hole in the ground, barely visible among the leaves, but wide enough for a human leg to slip into. Curious and uneasy, they decided to test how deep it went. They lowered a long stick inside and watched as it kept descending, until it completely disappeared from view. It's a chilling reminder that while walking through dense forests, dangers like this can remain completely hidden, and one wrong step could lead somewhere no one would ever find you. Jack runs a channel where he shares his metal detecting trips, usually uncovering old coins and lost objects. This time he ventured into a forest hoping to find gold. At first, he found a few interesting items. As he moved deeper, a sharp smell hung in the air. Birds circled above, and the place just felt wrong.
Rapaz, esse é do brabo, hein? Aí, gente, estamos no carreiro já. Eu acho que é gavião, alguma coisa assim. Mas tá cheiro de carniça aqui. Vai lá, ó. Será que ele não tá conseguindo voar ou ele... Parece até uma águia, né? Cuidado, Faísca. Isso aí carrega você pro céu. Tá cheiro de carniça bem estranho aqui.
Then he stumbled upon something shocking. It wasn't treasure, it was a body.
Nossa, olha aqui, ó. Eu vou colocar a luz aqui. Olha. Ui! O tanto de cabelo, gente. Uma maçaroca de cabelo. Puxa vida. Começa a ficar preocupante. Olha aqui, ó. Gente do céu. Acabou com a nossa caçada aí, ó. Vamos ter que chamar a polícia imediatamente. Cuidado, Clemente. Você não pode mostrar muito isso aí, não. Nossa senhora, que carniça, gente. Ó. Olha aí, gente. Dá pra você filmar aqui, câmera. Gente, é uma cena lamentável.
He called the police and stayed until they finished their work. They confirmed it was a woman, but shared no further details. His hunt ended in sorrow, yet he helped bring someone's daughter home. A woman and her mother were walking past an abandoned house in Kentucky when they noticed something through a window. They took this photo. A pale man stood inside. His clothes looked like they were from the early 1900s, and his face seemed drained of all colour. But the house had been empty for years. Many commenters suggested it might have been a mannequin placed there to scare people, but the woman insists the figure hadn't been standing there the whole time. After looking online, I found other photos and posts about the place, but none showed any sign of the figure, which makes it unlikely that it was just a mannequin standing there. It seems we'll never know the truth. A person was driving down a dark forest road with no other traffic when they suddenly noticed a parked vehicle with its door wide open. And then, this happened. Sensing something was wrong, the driver quickly sped past without stopping. Nobody knows what the person's intentions were, but it clearly seemed like a setup they likely avoided. This man was visiting his grandfather in Paphos, Cyprus, staying at a house in a mountainous area with very little activity nearby. Late at night, around 1:30 a.m., he began hearing strange sounds coming from above. The noise lasted between 5 and 10 minutes and echoed through the otherwise quiet area. There were no visible sources nearby, and at the time, the sound felt unsettling and unexplained. After the video was shared online, some viewers suggested unusual theories, including so-called sky trumpets. However, others quickly recognized the sound for what it most likely was. Several people familiar with Islamic and Middle Eastern culture identified the audio as the adhan, the Islamic call to prayer. A woman went solo camping in southwest Alaska. The site was quiet and empty, and for days, nothing felt wrong. But one rainy night, she woke up past midnight, and a bad feeling settled in as a loud banging came from outside. A brown bear struck the tent. She froze in fear, gripping her bear spray. After a long, tense wait, the sounds finally stopped, and she walked calmly to her car, staying there until morning. At daylight, tracks showed the bear had walked straight from the car to her tent, and she realized once again just how close she had come to real danger. One evening, a person recorded something unusual in the sky. A white, human-shaped figure appeared to be floating above the ocean. The sky was clear, with no other clouds, just this one patch, which made it even stranger. Was it simply a cloud that coincidentally took this shape, or could it be a sign from God himself? In 2021, a backpacker was hiking near an abandoned quarry in the Balkans when he noticed unusual movement in the water. The footage shows strong splashing and a wide disturbance across the surface. Whatever caused it never comes clearly into view, but the size and the force of the movement suggest something large and powerful was swimming beneath the surface. With no additional footage and no witnesses nearby, the source of the disturbance remains completely unidentified. In 2005, a hiker on Silver Star Mountain in southwest Washington took several photos during a hike. While snapping pictures, they noticed a lone figure moving across a wide snowy slope, an area that seemed too dangerous for anyone to walk. Later, when the images were zoomed in, the figure appeared unusual. Upright, dark, bulky, and taking long strides. There were no visible trails, gear, or other people nearby. Given the harsh conditions, it would have been extremely difficult, almost impossible, for anyone to walk there safely. These images later became known as the Silver Star Bigfoot photos. A team was exploring a haunted town when they came across an old bus near the woods.
Miren, está encendido, ve. Están encendidos. Se han encendido las luces del bus.
¿Estará abierta la puerta?
No sé. Está encendida la luz del bus, bichos. Miren, bichos. Miremos si no hay nadie adentro. Miremos si no hay nadie adentro.
It was empty and rusted, yet one tail light was glowing. The bus didn't look functional, so the light made no sense. They walked ahead, but one member thought he saw something behind them. They turned back and filmed the bus again. And then, they saw it.
Ah, no mames, güey. Ay, Dios mío. No mames. Miren. Aquí está el cuerpo. Oiga. ¿Qué quieres? Miren. A la madre, güey.
A dark figure was standing there, completely still. Everyone in the group was present, so it wasn't one of them. They ended the trip and left quickly. Was it just a creepy person, or a spirit tied to the bus? Laura from Mexico was filming a tree that had caught fire after a lightning strike.
Hola, chécale a ver si se mueve. Ponle, acércale.
Sí se mueve.
Pero se mueve.
Pero no está quemada, está intacta.
Esta tampoco se mueve.
Está sentada ahí.
Mira, ahí está sentada. Tenía tantos años que no veía algo así, fíjate. Hasta ahorita que los niños lo vieron.
While recording, she noticed a shape forming through the flames. It looked like a person standing inside the burning branches. People later suggested it might be a witch. Others thought it was just an optical illusion. They couldn't figure out what they were looking at, but to them, it looked too human. On May 4th, 2017, 23-year-old Madeline Connolly went hiking in Montana's Great Bear Wilderness near Glacier National Park while visiting her uncle. She planned a short hike with her dog, Mogi, but left without food, gear, or a map. Her car was later found at the trailhead with all her supplies still inside. Madeline took a wrong turn and walked deeper into the wilderness, likely confused by the terrain and snow. When night fell, she realized she was lost. A large search began, involving helicopters, ground teams, horses, dogs, and trackers. Bear tracks were even found near her footprints, raising concern for her safety. Madeline survived for 6 days in freezing conditions. She drank stream water and melted snow, and slept under trees, using natural shelter to stay protected. With no food or proper supplies, she managed by moving cautiously and resting when she needed to. On May 10th, searchers found her alive near a creek drainage about 5 miles from her vehicle. She had no serious injuries, and her dog was unharmed. The pair was rescued by a helicopter and taken to safety, where she was reunited with her family. In western Massachusetts, a camper reported seeing something strange during a routine trip in the woods. He noticed a tall brown figure standing among broken tree branches. The shape appeared to be over 7 feet tall and blended in with the surrounding trees. From a distance, it was hard to tell whether it was just a large branch or something else entirely. He couldn't even tell if it was moving. Instead of getting closer, he took a photo and left the area, wondering if he had just glimpsed Bigfoot or if it was simply pareidolia playing tricks on his eyes. On May 24th, 2017, JT Is All Business, a US family vlog known for outdoor trips, were staying in a remote cabin in New Hampshire. The night was quiet until sharp cries echoed from the woods.
What is that, Mom? Some kind of wild animal out here going crazy. What do you think that is? What kind of animal is this? I'm out here in the middle of the mountains in New Hampshire.
The sounds grew louder and moved closer. When they looked outside, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at them.
Oh, here it comes. I see its eyes. Oh, get back there.
What?
Get in here. I see its
Oh,
eyes.
wow, I see its eyes too.
JT, get inside. It's looking for food. Get in here. I don't want it to do it.
Oh,
Get in here.
look at its eyes. Hold on, let me get its eyes on here. Oh, crap, it's coming.
Come on, Mila's right here. She could run out.
Wow, look at that. What is that? He's coming close.
Let me see what it is. Get in here.
God, that's crazy.
Soon, more eyes appeared, scattered around the cabin. The family realized animals were positioned in different spots, all facing the house.
This is crazy. Freaking animals all over the place.
Me, isn't it?
Huh? Oh, did I record you? Sorry. I meant to show my face there. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here. I'm not even sure what kind of animal this is. I know there's one right here in front of me, like I can see its eyes, but there's another one over here to the left.
The father stepped out with a flashlight, but the cries stopped and the eyes vanished. They never discovered what was surrounding them, but the experience left an eerie feeling. In the summer of 2015, the Kunz family took a short trip to Timber Creek Campground in Ladore, Idaho, a gateway that should have been simple and peaceful. The group includes parents Jessica Mitchell and Vernal DeOr Kunz Sr., their 2-year-old son DeOr's Kunz Jr., Jessica's grandfather Robert Bob Walton, and family friend Isaac Reinwand. The family left Idaho Falls on July 9th, 2015. Walton and Reinwand traveled in a separate vehicle and met the young family at the remote campground later that night. They arrived after dark. Little D'Or helped set up the camp and gather around the fire before everyone settled in, blissfully unaware that the next day would turn into a nightmare. The morning of July 10th began like any other camping trip. The family lounged near the campsite, enjoying the quiet. At one point, Jessica asked her grandfather Bob to watch D'Or while she and Vernal joined Isaac to walk a short distance away to fish. A simple, ordinary request. But by 2 p.m., everything changed. When Jessica and Vernal returned, D'Or was gone. They searched frantically, calling his name. When he didn't appear, Vernal jumped into his truck and drove down the dirt road until he could get cell reception. Jessica's phone briefly connected at the campground, and she placed a 911 call at 2:28 p.m.
What's the address of your emergency?
I'm actually camping in Ledworth, just outside of Ledworth.
Uh-huh.
My 2-year-old son, we can't find him.
Okay, what is he wearing?
He was wearing cowboy boots, a blue, pair, like pajama pants, and a camel jacket. And he's got shaggy blonde hair.
Is your husband calling too?
Like, all down where we were camping at, and we can't find him at all.
No one else had been camping near them that day. The area was boxed in, a hill on one side, and an 8 to 10 foot drop to a creek on the other. Vernal insisted later, "It's such a small area. People assume we let him wander off, but there's no way you couldn't see him." By 3:45 p.m., search and rescue teams arrived. For 2 weeks, crews scoured the ground, the creek, and the surrounding wilderness. Helicopters, divers, dogs, nothing brought answers. Then, a shocking twist. In January 2016, 6 months after the disappearance, Sheriff Lynn Bowerman announced that D'Or's parents were now persons of interest.
Basically, I was saying they were the top persons of interest, but, actually, yeah, I believe they're suspects. After a extensive week of interviewing, re-interviewing, and an announcement from the FBI that they were being less than truthful on their polygraphs, and a lot of irregularities and discrepancies in their interviews, I felt it was necessary to come forward and say that the parents are being less than truthful.
He told reporters that both parents had been less than truthful, pointing to inconsistencies in their statements and polygraph results. This opened the door to speculation. Had something happened to D'Or that the adults were hiding? The case grew more troubling months later. In 2016, the couple was evicted from their home for unpaid rent, and among the belongings they left behind was D'Or's camouflage jacket, the very one they claimed he was wearing when he disappeared. The discovery only deepened doubts and suspicions. Despite years of investigation, no arrests have ever been made. No remains have ever been found. To this day, the disappearance of D'Or Kunz Jr. remains one of Idaho's most haunting, unsolved cases. In 2007, a student studying abroad in Cameroon took this photo near the entrance of a sacred cave using a disposable camera. During a free day, a professor led the group to a cave in a nearby mountain range, a site locals believe is home to spirits. Local children guided them to the entrance, but tourists were not permitted to go more than a few feet inside. Later, after returning home, the student had the film developed, and that's when they noticed something unsettling. A faint human-like figure appeared between the two children in the photo. Strangely, both children seemed to be facing the exact same spot, as if they were looking at it. The photographer wrote, "I'm a skeptic when it comes to ghost photos. They're easy to fake. But this one is different because it's mine. I took it. And this is exactly how it came back from the lab." Whether it was a trick of the light, a camera artifact, or something tied to the cave's legends, the figure has remained unexplained. In 2021, someone was recording a stormy night in Dubai when a strange shape appeared in the sky. The camera caught an object that looked like an upside-down pyramid. Was it a hidden structure, a rare weather effect, a UFO, or just CGI? When a homeowner's security camera went off, they checked the footage and saw something terrifying. A person in a long black robe appeared. Their face looked distorted, eyes reflected the light, and their fingers seemed unusually long. What made it even creepier was that the homeowner lived in the woods, with only 2 neighbors nearby. It didn't seem like a prank, and there was no reason for anyone to be there. The footage was shared online, and viewers immediately wondered if it could be a witch. The homeowner and their neighbors never saw the figure again. In February 2024, 3 friends were riding their motorcycles through a quiet forest at daybreak when the friend in front suddenly slammed the brakes.
Apaan, Cuk? Mat, apaan anjing? Mat! Yan. Wih, itu, Cuk. Astagfirullah, Cuk. Astagfirullah. Mat, motor lu dulu, Cuk.
There was a white figure standing completely still. When someone yelled that it was a pokong, the figure suddenly jumped. Being deeply terrified, all 3 turned and fled.
Permisi, Mbak. Permisi. Mat, samperin aja, Mat. Nggak apa-apa, Mat. Nggak apa-apa, Cuk. Goblok.
A pokong in Indonesian folklore is said to be the ghost of a person who was buried in a shroud, still wrapped tightly from head to toe. Many describe it as hopping rather than walking because of the tied burial cloth. Do you think this was staged, or do you believe pokongs are real? In late July 2025, Jose Velasquez Torquillos, a 35-year-old man from Camarillo, California, vanished under circumstances that immediately raised concern. He was last seen on July 27th. For several days, no one heard from him. Something those close to him said was highly unusual. By July 30th, he was officially reported missing, and authorities began looking into what had happened. Early in the investigation, another troubling detail emerged. Jose's work van was found abandoned in Thousand Oaks, miles away from where he was last seen. There were no clear signs explaining why it had been left there, and no indication of where Jose had gone afterward. Weeks passed, summer turned to fall. Despite searches and growing concern, there were no confirmed sightings and no answers. Then, on October 3rd, more than 2 months after his disappearance, hikers in the Santa Monica Mountains made a grim discovery. In a remote area near a hiking trail in Los Angeles County, they came across human remains and immediately contacted authorities. The body was identified as Jose Velasquez Torquillos. The location was isolated, far from neighborhoods and not easily visible from the trail, suggesting he had not simply wandered there by accident. Los Angeles County coroner later ruled Jose's death a homicide, determining that he had suffered multiple gunshot wounds. How he ended up in the mountains, who brought him there, and why he was killed remain unanswered questions. As of now, the investigation is ongoing, and authorities have not released details about suspects or motives. On July 22nd, 2024, YouTubers Corinne and Chelsea, known for their fun challenges and uplifting adventures, took on something different. They entered D-Ring Woods, a place long associated with strange cries and unexplained deaths. They reached the forest, found a hidden spot, and quietly set up their camp, since camping there wasn't allowed. But once night fell, the forest changed.
There, that's when the best bits happen.
What? Yeah, me burping like that. It's terrible. What?
That light turned itself off, mate, and it can't turn off unless you hold it down.
It's probably the battery's
No,
going.
mate.
The battery's probably going.
Mate, I barely used it.
Mate.
I'm telling you right now. That doesn't. I'm telling you now.
Okay.
On my life.
All right.
You have to.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Do you?
Mate, that's creepy.
Do you
no,
care?
I'm fine. But
Okay. Oh my God! Stop. Stop
I'm
it now.
telling you now.
Just stop it now. Just leave it off. Just leave it off. It's running out of battery.
Right, I'm putting this on because if that one goes out, I'm scared.
No.
Yeah.
It's running out of battery. That's all. I'm telling you.
Mate, I
now.
haven't used it.
It's just running out of battery. That's all.
Their tent light shut off twice for no clear reason. Moments later, they began hearing this.
Yeah, it is because it's creepy because it went back on when I pressed it on again, and to turn that off you have to hold it down for about 4 seconds. It doesn't just turn off.
Okay.
But the other one stayed on, so maybe that one was just running out. I don't know.
Should we go to sleep? Should we go to sleep now?
Turn the lights off. The car's there. Yeah, I know. But
They stayed completely still inside the tent, unsure who or what was out there in the darkness. Fortunately, by morning, they were unharmed. The uploader visited Scotland in early October with his family and joined a night ghost tour in Edinburgh. During the walk through Greyfriars Kirkyard, he stepped a little away from the group and snapped a few photos near one of the old graves. After the tour, he checked his images, and that's when he noticed something strange. Beside one of the gravestones, a shape appeared that no one had seen during the tour. The next day, he returned to the same spot hoping to find a simple explanation, but nothing was there that matched what he captured that night. Justin from the Limitless Outdoors YouTube channel had a close call in the wild. He heard wolf howls coming from a nearby mountain and decided to make a predator call to bring them in.
What a day not to have a gun. Here they come. I don't have a gun.
Within 5 minutes, several wolves appeared at the bottom of the hill. They began moving closer, clearly responding to his call. Justin was unarmed, and at this point, most people would have left the area, but not Justin. He stayed put and kept making noise, attracting 2 wolves who stared directly at him from barely 10 yards away. Fortunately, after a tense moment, they turned around and walked back toward the rest of the pack. Justin later left the area safely. In 2017, Alex Hunold completed one of the most extraordinary achievements in climbing history: a free solo ascent of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. Free soloing means climbing with no ropes, no harness, and no safety equipment of any kind. Hanold scaled the Freerider route, a nearly 2,900-foot vertical granite wall, in just under 4 hours. El Capitan is considered one of the most difficult and technical rock faces in the world, demanding absolute precision, strength, and mental control. His ascent became the first recorded solo climb of El Capitan and is still regarded as one of the greatest athletic feats ever accomplished. Tor Etchov, known online as Apor, was a beloved Norwegian creator with over 1 million followers. His channel showcased the raw beauty of Norway, lakes, forests, frozen landscapes, and he often pushed the limits with daring challenges, like skating on thin ice or diving beneath frozen surfaces. That mix of nature and risk made his videos truly unique. Just a few days after uploading his birthday video, Tor went to Jacob's Dam Lake near Kongsberg to film again. But this time, something went terribly wrong. The ice suddenly gave way beneath him, and he plunged into the freezing water. Witnesses heard his cry for help and immediately contacted emergency services. Rescue crews reached him, and he was transported to a hospital in Oslo, but tragically, he could not be saved. His passing left viewers and fellow creators stunned. A talented filmmaker, a fearless spirit, and a life ended far too soon. May he rest in peace. This couple was hiking through a remote mountain area in southern Utah when the woman took a photo of her husband as he photographed the landscape. At first, the image looked ordinary, but later, while reviewing their photos, they noticed something strange. A glowing, unusual shape appeared in the frame. The light hadn't been visible at the location and was only discovered afterward, which left them confused. They shared the image online, asking if anyone had seen something similar and even wondering whether it could have been something far more mysterious. After a closer review, most Reddit users offered a simple explanation: a lens flare. They explained the effect was likely caused by strong sunlight reflecting inside the phone's camera lens, creating the glowing shape seen in the photo. On February 16, 2014, while hiking near Lake Colico in Chile, a woman named Carolina Lopez Paniman recorded something unusual.
Yes.
She had been filming the calm, empty water when a strange shape appeared. 4 rounded humps rose above the surface and moved slowly across the lake. Carolina had no idea what she was looking at. And when the video was posted online, people searched for explanations, but no one could agree on what the object or creature might be. To this day, the sighting remains unexplained. A man woke up at night to drink water. He heard dogs in the area barking non-stop. So he went to the window to see what was going on. He saw a dark figure standing still near the bushes in the neighborhood, which don't move. He kept watching, trying to understand what it was. It didn't look like a random passerby or a shadow, it just stayed there, in the dark. By morning, the figure was gone. He still doesn't know who or what that was. On December 13th, 2025, Matthew Aldridge, a 26-year-old from Bend, Oregon, attempted to summit Mount Hood with 2 friends. The climb began at the Mount Hood Meadows Resort. As weather conditions rapidly worsened, the others made the decision to turn back, but Matthew chose to continue the ascent alone. When his friends failed to hear from him, they reported him overdue at around 11:30 a.m. that morning. Search and rescue teams immediately launched an operation using aircraft, ground crews, and cell phone location data. The signal pointed to an area near Pea Gravel Ridge, above 8,400 feet, suggesting Matthew may have suffered a fall. Despite extreme conditions, deep snow, strong winds, and limited visibility, rescue teams reached the location but found no sign of him. Repeated attempts to continue the search were forced to stop due to unsafe weather. On December 14th, authorities officially shifted the mission from rescue to recovery, stating the risk to responders had become too great. As of now, no physical trace of Matthew Aldridge has been found. Mount Hood is known for rapidly changing weather, steep terrain, and deadly winter conditions, factors that have complicated searches there in the past. At the time of writing, there have been no further updates, and Matthew's disappearance remains unsolved. A man was walking home when suddenly rain started falling in one single spot.
Hola. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Necesitas ayuda? Hola.
As he stopped, he heard a woman crying, but no one was around. He recorded for a short moment, then left because it felt unsafe. Later, many people connected it to the legend of La Llorona, the ghost said to wander near water while crying for her lost children. On June 6th, Maria went to Cuckoo's Nook with her friends because people said the place felt strange. While they were there, nothing unusual happened. But days later, when Maria checked the photos on her phone, one image made her stop. On the right side, a blurred shape appeared. It didn't look like motion blur or light, and the more she looked, the more it started to resemble a woman. Some commenters even said it looked like a bride. Is it just a blur or something paranormal? On the cold night of February 24th, 1978, 5 young men from Yuba County, California, Bill Sterling, Jack Hewitt, Ted Weir, Jack Madruga, and Gary Mathias, headed to California State University, Chico, to watch a basketball game. They were excited. The next day, they were scheduled to play in a Special Olympics basketball tournament of their own. They laid out their uniforms before leaving the house, but they never returned home. Despite each man having mild developmental or psychological challenges, they functioned independently and were well loved in their community. Their disappearance immediately alarmed their families. A police search began. Within days, the men's 1972 Mercury Montego was located, but the discovery only deepened the mystery. The car was found an hour away in the wrong direction, high in the Plumas National Forest, up a remote mountain road in the northern Sierra Nevada. It was abandoned in a snowbank. The keys were gone. The engine worked, the tires weren't damaged, and investigators noted that 5 grown men could have easily pushed it free. Inside were a few empty food wrappers and drink containers, nothing more. Search teams combed the forest, but a heavy storm swept the area soon after, erasing tracks and signs that might have explained where the men had gone. Then came strange eyewitness reports. A man named Joseph Shuns claimed he saw the group on the very night they vanished. Shuns had suffered a mild heart attack while trying to free his own vehicle from the snow. He said he saw a group of men with flashlights walking near him. When he called out for help, the lights simply turned away and disappeared into the darkness. Another witness reported seeing 5 men in a red pickup on the Saturday and Sunday after the disappearance. 2 came into her store to buy food and use the phone, while the others stayed in the truck. Months passed without any more information. Then, in June 1978, the first body was found. A forest worker noticed a broken window at a U.S. Forest Service trailer, 20 miles from where the car had been abandoned. Inside lay the body of Ted Weir. He had wrapped himself in blankets. His feet were severely frostbitten. But disturbingly, he had starved to death despite a locker full of food nearby. The trailer's fireplace, heating system, and ample supplies of warm clothing were untouched. It is believed Ted may have survived up to 13 weeks after the men disappeared. Not far from the hillside between the trailer and the abandoned car, the remains of Sterling, Hewitt, and Madruga were found. All had succumbed to the cold, their bodies scattered over the terrain. Only one man was never found, Gary Mathias, whose shoes were discovered deep in the woods, but whose body has never been recovered. To this day, the case remains one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries in California history. Why did the group drive so far off course? Why did they leave a working car in freezing conditions? Why did they split up? And why did Ted not use food, heat, or clothing available to him? And why, according to their families, would the men ignore Joseph Shun's pleas for help? Something entirely out of character for them. No one knows what happened in those mountains. A group of hikers was moving through a quiet patch of desert in the Sonoran National Monument in Arizona when they noticed something unusual. A large rock had a metal lock embedded in its side, almost as if it was guarding an entrance to something hidden below the surface. They filmed it and shared the clip online, and viewers immediately began speculating about what they had found. What could be behind this? A couple was out for a walk during their camping trip when they suddenly noticed a blue light in the sky. It had a clear rectangular shape and hovered in one place. It didn't blink or change color, it didn't move like a plane or a drone, and there was no sound. Confused, the couple kept recording, unsure of what they were seeing, and later posted the video online. Some viewers suggested advanced technology, while others believed it could be something unknown. The object never moved or faded. After watching it for a while, the couple decided to head back to their van. A Reddit user went camping near Glengariff around Halloween when he found something unsettling not far from his campsite. Small, creepy dolls were placed on a tree, wrapped in decaying cloth. Was it some kind of art project, a warning, or something much darker? Whatever the reason, the whole setup felt wrong, so the camper packed up and found another spot. While hiking along the Grey Mare's Tail in Scotland, this person took a few photos of the scenery. The images showed the river, the empty hills, and not only that. When they zoomed in, a white figure appeared to be sitting on the rocks. Beside it, another bright shape. The hiker explained that the area is extremely isolated. There is no trail leading to that spot, and he hadn't seen a single person nearby. Some say it's pareidolia, but can this really just be pareidolia? 19-year-old Sam Benestick went on a 10-day camping and fishing trip in Redfern-Kiley Provincial Park, British Columbia, when he didn't return on schedule and was reported missing on October 19th. Search teams scoured the rugged mountains and forests, but despite days of searching, there was no sign of him. Volunteers, police, and helicopters joined the efforts, but the terrain was challenging and remote. After more than 50 days, on November 26th, 2 men spotted him walking alone in the wilderness. Sam had survived by finding shelter near a creek, building a small campsite, and using parts of his sleeping bag to stay warm through freezing temperatures around minus 20 degrees Celsius. Although there are no detailed reports on exactly what he ate, he was clearly limited to minimal nutrition while he waited and moved toward rescue. He was weak and malnourished, but alive. After being rescued, Sam was taken to the hospital and began recovering physically and mentally from the ordeal. A couple was hiking in a remote forest they hadn't visited before. At a distance, they recorded a large, dark figure moving easily through dense vegetation. Thinking it might be a bear, they kept filming for a moment. Then, they turned and ran, and the recording ended shortly after. We don't know what happened next, which makes the footage's authenticity a bit questionable, but we may never know. A homeowner in South Carolina woke to strange noises outside. He stayed inside and checked his porch camera. Nothing appeared on screen, but the audio did catch something. People who heard the clip later tried to identify it. Some guessed Bigfoot or a dogman. Others said it might be a bear or a mountain lion. No one could agree because the sound didn't really match anything familiar. And for more disturbing encounters, watch this next video.